Some people would consider this crabs, tripe, gelatinous feet, ham scraps, and even stale bread. Let's turn them into a specialty. Join me for some learning and fun. Let's prepare callos. We're cooking and sharing today a dish from Spain. Here on Chow. Hello, good morning. How are you today? As you have noticed, I'm cooking here callos. Classic callos made the Spanish way. I've combined the Galician way of doing this with the best practices in Madrid from my cooking coaches to come up with this classic callos. So how about rewinding, and I'll show you how I prepared the ingredients and how I made the stir fry. The tripe has been cleaned, but I'm going to wash it twice. If it's not clean, scrub it with salt. And into the flame. I added vinegar here and boiled it for 20 minutes and then discarded the water and wash it again. Wash it twice or more. With sufficient water back to the flame, add the pata or the feet and pressure cook for 20 to 30 minutes at high pressure. 3 hours without the pressure cooker. I glance at the ingredients: garlic, onion, paprika powder, dried celery and cumin and laurel. I don't have blood sausage, so I'm skipping it. Just chorizo, ham scraps, pork belly, and white wine and brandy and garbanzos. And let's just finely slice the ingredients. First, the ham scraps. I'll be discarding the fat. Now the sausage or the chorizo, as thin as this. Now, prepared. Now the tripe into bite size, like this. It can be smaller. Now the pata, which has been softened. It's gelatinous and it helps in the flavor. I didn't mention, but I'll be using pork fat to stir fry for more flavor. That might have been a surprise to you. Addition of breadcrumbs to thicken the sauce is a proven solution, and it gives a better flavor when the bread is fried, as we're doing now. I learned this from an oma, from a grandmother in Spain. Even the cooks in my barrio do this. But they don't fry the bread, they just add the breadcrumbs. We just fry this bread, later we'll add it to the sauce. Now we can prepare this magic ingredients. Look how lovely our ingredients are. Pork limpo or pork belly here, chorizo, and the scraps, ham scraps here. We can have this pork belly first render. Of course, each household has its own way of preparing this, but what we're doing today is combining different practices, different traditions, to come up with a classic taste. All the best practices. Some don't even do stir fry, they just boil the tripe and the ingredients together, and that's it. But we're doing stir fry, that will do wonders. The Galician tradition adds garbanzos, which we are doing. But I also see many paella versions in Madrid adding this, even in France. And talking about Spain, you might be interested in places, events, and culture in Spain. On the other channel, my barrio, my mother. Not just of Spain, but of the world. We can add the onions now. Now the color begins to turn bright orange. We haven't added the spices yet. I still have here the water that I used to boil it. Some would throw this away, but it has the flavors. I'm going to use that. Now let's add the tripe. If you notice, I did not put salt yet because the ham is salty, so we'll see how tasty it becomes before we add salt. Let's do this as authentic as possible, so we're adding wine. If you don't have wine, just use 1 part vinegar, 5 parts water. I'll use just 1/2 of this, 1 cup, and I'll drink the rest. Now I'm going to show you the brand. It's white wine. It's the most expensive from Albert Heijn. Now, let's maximize the experience to give it the desired flavor. Brandy, not as many as the white wine, just I think 2 tablespoons. Yeah. I'm going to tenderize this further. It's good. And we add the fried bread. I was once served callos with the bread broken just like this. After approximately 30 minutes of cooking, this should be ready. See, from scraps to a specialty. You know, eating tripe in this part of the world, in the lowlands, I mean the Flanders and the Netherlands, they don't eat this usually, but I think they mix it with their sausages. I'm curious if the locals like it. It's this known in France and in Spain, but I don't understand why in Holland they don't include this in their recipes. So let's bring the half to share with my mother and Grace. So let's see you at the garden. And on the next video. You know, yes, the locals like it. Exceptionally.